All right, this is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana. And since 1969, we have given Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth about the Bible. Everything that's happening in the world right now can be explained with the scriptures. Anything you need to understand about God, the world, your condition can all be explained. With that being said, I'm going to just drop us a couple of videos so y'all can get your pens, your pads ready, your drink, whatever you need. I'll go ahead and play a couple videos. And I also want to, inspire brothers to just keep on pushing and never forget that the oppressor had us in chains. With that being said, I'm going to play a couple videos and I'll be right back with you.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Just tell my friends that I'm coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused.
America just put out a statement that if you're an American in the Middle East, you need to leave now, ASAP.
If this situation, Epic Fury, was many months in the planning, as Secretary Hegseth says, why no plan to get our people out of the region? As many as 1 million Americans living in the Middle East given no escape window.
I'm the girl that decided to spend her 30th birthday in Dubai. And I'm coming on here very humbly, asking my president to just seize it. I'm an American taxpaying citizen. And I've now been stuck over here since the 24th.
If you are calling about the crisis in the Middle East, please press 1. If not, press 2. Please do not rely on the U.S. government for assisted departure or evacuation at this time. There are currently no United States evacuation points.
They are toast, and they know it.
All right, I'm back with you. Again, this is the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. I'm Officer Quahal out of Delaware, and we back. We've been back from this Passover. What is it, Cap? About 2 weeks now we've been back? About 2 weeks we've been back, yeah. So we back on it. We grinding. If you missed the Passover, You know, that's unfortunate, but next year, just do better. Make sure you can make it. You know, brothers and sisters was out there having an excellent, excellent time. So round of applause for the Passover. All right. All right. This is the scripture breakdown class for Thursday. And I just want to bring a couple things to light. The first thing I want to start with is not understanding, or I do understand, but brothers and sisters outside of us not understanding when we say the prayers for the curses, you know, what that actually is. They believe, since we're saying the curses, that we're pretty much conjuring up some sort of evil, which I don't understand, because the Most High decides and controls evil. But brothers and sisters have it in a mind in the world that Satan is the one that's controlling the evil. So let me read something for you real quick. All right. This is Isaiah 45 and verse 7. It says, I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So when it's talking about evil, a lot of people don't understand that evil is talking about the punishments for the sins that you're committing. Evil is talking about the reaction that the Most High has towards you when you're doing something that's despicable or abominable. It's not talking about, you know, us trying to get, you know, something unjust to happen. All right. The Most High is the one who dictates and is the one who sends out evil. Let me get into a couple of more precepts for that before I move on. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 6, so we can have a good understanding. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Back in the day, if a trumpet was blown, that means somebody was attacking your city. In the ISUPK, and I'll just kind of give a little quick sidebar. In the ISUPK, we've been blowing that trumpet for the so-called Black community since 1969, warning Black people that our community is under attack, and it's been under attack for however long we've been in this country, 400 something years. So that's to give you a little insight what the trumpet means. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? That means somebody is about to attack. That means an attack, a raid, a war is coming. Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it? That's a question. If evil happens on a city, hasn't the Lord done that evil? Didn't the Lord bring evil to Sodom and Gomorrah when all of the homosexuality, all of the raping that was attempting to take place? Didn't the Lord bring that evil? So how are we wrong for asking for everybody that's an enemy of the Lord to face the Lord's evil? How are we wrong for that? I want you to ask yourself that question if you're in the world and you don't understand what our prayers are about. This is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14 through 15. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul. So this is saying the Spirit of the Lord left Saul. It was no longer with him. The Lord, in a sense, turned his face away from Saul. And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold, now an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. So this is the evil that we're talking about. When we say send evils and curses to the enemies of the Lord's people, that is something necessary that needs to happen, because why should the Lord's people continue to be persecuted by pedophiles, by just warmongers of the world that mean to destroy us? You think we can continue to live hand in hand with an oppressor that means to destroy us? You can get a glimpse of what he's doing to the other nations outside of us when it comes to Gaza, Palestine, Iran. So why wouldn't we want the Lord to destroy that evil to bring on his kingdom? All right. This is Judges chapter 9 and verse 23. And write down these precepts if you need. It says, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. So the Lord sent a spirit out that was evil. And then Abimelech was dealt with the way the Lord wanted him to be dealt with. All right. Let me get one more. This is Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 22. And again, these are the evil precepts, letting you know that the Most High is the one who sins and controls evil. It says, yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings. And ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. Again, the Most High is the one that's bringing that evil, man. So when you look at us like we're wrong because we say the prayers and we want the Lord to destroy all the evils of this world, is actually something wrong with you. Don't you see that the people that rule this world right now are the ones that need to be dealt with? Don't you see that there is no human force on this earth that is going to stop the United States from continuing to do evil? We need the Most High to do it. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the title of today's class is called Against Our God. And I want to play a couple videos for y'all. All right, because as I was having a conversation earlier with Captain Tazayawan, it's apparent that the only thing the oppressor cares about is money. The only thing that the oppressor values is the funds that can be put in their pockets. If you were able to catch my lesson last time, I spoke about AIPAC and how all of our politicians are paid off and how none of our votes count. None of our votes count because our politicians are more willing to take money than to solve the actual problems of the American people. American people are suffering left and right from poverty. It's creeping right up on us. Even before the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, there was a lot of financial issues that Americans were having. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. You have a couple of dummies on the internet that get on Instagram and say, things about, everybody, should have money, this, that, and the fourth. If you're not making money, you're not making sense, this, that, and the fourth. That person lives in a mother's basement and they wear the same thing over and over and over again. It just happens to be designer. Don't listen to some fool on the internet telling you about some money when the average black person has been just pummeled from this oppressor into poverty. All right, let me go ahead and get a scripture for y'all. All right, this is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. Let me make sure I got the KJV version. All right. This says, for the love of money, not money, but for the love of money is the root of all evil. It's okay to have money. Because I know if my brother, Captain Zion, hit that lottery, I'm going to be rich too. Right, Cap? Right. If I hit the lottery, my brother's is going to be rich too. I'm giving back to the school. I'm giving back to my brothers. I'm giving back to the poor because I have an understanding of I don't love the money. I love the people that are around me that are going to help build this nation back to where it needs to be. I love the fact that the Most High, even through all the trash and the muck and the mud that we've been through, is eventually going to redeem us because we're on the bottom of the totem pole. But it says in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, what do the pastors do? They love money so much. When there's a black man that has the brakes beat off of him, when there is a sister like Sonia Massey that's unalived, that pastor is paid by a politician to tell people to just calm down and wait for justice and kumbaya and forgive the assailant. That pastor doesn't want you to actually forgive that person deep down inside. What they want is to keep receiving the money from the politician or the government so they can keep enriching themselves while you fall into poverty and are continue to be oppressed by the so-called white man. It says, which while some coveteth after, they have erred from the faith. The pastors erred from the faith They don't have your best interests at heart. They're not going to sound that siren like they used to in the city when something bad was going to come. They're going to take that money and they're going to run off with it. It says, and pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Eventually, that's going to catch up with them. All right. I want to play y'all something because we have a lot going on in the world, but for some reason, the devil wants to keep launching people into the sky for whatever reason. And they've been doing this for so long. But for what? Why does it matter if we can send a rocket into the sky if we can't even really feed the homeless? If we can't even cure cancer, if we can't even be in a position for children and not starve in the streets, why are we sending men to the moon? We can't. We need to keep American men out of other people's countries overthrowing their government. We don't need to try to have the devil conquering the stars too. Good night. Let me play a video for y'all real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, let me just go ahead and share it to the screen. All right, and shout out to the chat. Let me get the comments while I do that. Salaki, I see y'all in the chat. We got Carrie 3, Shalom Lord in Christ. We got Chrissy Judd in the chat, Most High in Christ. We got who we got? We got Shiz 2157 checking in from Delaware. We got King Denny checking in from Greenville, South Carolina. All right, and we got I believe that says Tiana Robinson, Most High in Christ, checking in from Delaware. All right. All right, so let me go ahead and share the chat to the screen so y'all can see it too. Let me go ahead and get that on get that video on the screen because they've been since JFK. We've been worried about going to the moon, and for what? All right, so let me play this for y'all.
Why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
So that's just an example. Since the time of JFK, they've wanted to send people to the moon, and now they have into space. Period. And now they have a new mission called Artemis. And for what? Let me read, a couple of statistics or a couple of facts about that. All right. From the times of the Apollo programs from 1960 to 1973, this is not even counting what we're spending now. The cost back then was $25 billion in the 60s and 70s. So in today's time, that would be $257 billion to $280 billion in today's time, maybe more. All right. And when you think about that amount of money, what did they come back with? Like that I want us to just really think about what they actually came back with. They came back with rocks and dirt. So for an oppressor to be sent to the moon, it costs the equivalent of $257 billion, and they came back with literal pebbles. I saw it myself because when I was in Houston, Texas, my rib and my son, wanted to go to the NASA museum. So we went, and I know my son probably had fun, but it was absolutely pointless. It was pointless, Cap. I saw what they brought back, and it was the same thing that we can go outside right now and get. That's right in front of the school, rocks and dirt. They brought back for $257 billion rocks and dirt, and people can't keep their lights on. They brought back dust and pebbles, and people can't even afford their medicine. Is this really the type of oppressor that's so money hungry but yet we'll waste it on the other end that we need to have ruling over us? Is that something that we really think is a good fit for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? I don't want to repeat myself, but I saw a sister say that she really thought that slavery was a necessary evil because we're now in America and there are Africans over in other countries that would die to get over here. When before we ever were in this place, the fact of the matter was we were far advanced to what the oppressor had. And if the oppressor wouldn't have had a headlock on the creators of all the inventions, which is us, and wouldn't have had the patent office and wouldn't have had all the power, we would be far ahead in technology. I know we would have. But it doesn't really benefit the oppressor for us to have like all of the things that we see in movies. Like you remember back in the day, Cap, I know we getting a little seasoned. We watched movies like Back to the Future, RoboCop. And as a kid, you think that's what the future is going to be like. But lo and behold, when you get here, it's pretty much the same thing. There's virtual reality. But really what's happening is the reason why there's no large leaps in technology or that it's being held from us is because it doesn't benefit the oppressor for that to happen. All right. And give me 1 second. If y'all can hear me in the chat and everything is Tawab, let me see. Just throw me a 1 in the chat. And I'm gonna just read. Let me see. We got Kanai in the chat. She got a comment. She says, "Oh, I went to a museum while we were in Houston too. I love a good museum. Most High in Christ." Yeah, the museums actually, like, even though for me, it really didn't resonate with me because, you know, I would rather be, you know, shocked and amazed by like the actual like things that are happening or things in present time. It can actually put in perspective, you know, and it did for me, what actually is happening. Like if you look and like if you go to that museum, you'll see that the space missions were a bunch of nothing. Thawada, Chrissy. The space missions were a bunch of nothing. All right. Let me see. All right. And through that, when the oppressor goes into space and chases rocks and dirt and accolades, space travel actually damages the world around us. It says space travel damages Earth primarily by injecting black carbon, alumina particles, and other pollutants directly into the stratosphere, damaging the ozone layer and contributing to climate change. Rocket launches emit greenhouse gases and pollutants like hydrochloric acid, while the growing accumulation of orbital debris possess risks to satellites and possess re-entry risks. So they're spending all that money to damage the world around us. And as a person just on the ground, you have no say about it. You can't even vote and go, listen, don't go to the moon and spend $257 billion. Pay everybody's water bill. Give us clean water to drink. Make the food less expensive. How about don't have gas at $15 a gallon? How about that? But the oppressor is evil and they rule over us. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Ecclesiastes because I want us to understand exactly why we continue to follow the path that we do. And during the you know, the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you know, in Philly, we were talking about how Blacks and Hispanics continue to follow the oppressor and how if the oppressor doesn't say to do something, we won't do it. Like the oppressor says we're Christians, everybody's a Christian. The oppressor says love everybody, even though Christ said something different, and you can clearly look at in the Bible that he says he only loves his people. He was only sent for his people. The oppressor said love everybody, and the world, they love everybody. And that's the thing. Like we see the oppressor as some rich, holy thing that is just something to chase after. Or otherwise, why would we continue to let the oppressor not only be evil, rule over us, but look to them for guidance? All right, let me go ahead and read this. Let me get to the right. We're going to read Ecclesiastes chapter 13, starting with verse 18. And this is to help us understand. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and skip down. All right, we'll start at verse 23. This is one of my favorite verses to read. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 18 and verse 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. When JFK got on that podium and he spoke and he said, we need to go to the moon, everybody held their tongue and they didn't even ask why. Back in the day, before everybody started waking up a little bit, when the oppressor put out propaganda and spoke about America having enemies and wanted to go to war, we listened. We said the Arabs want to stop our freedom. They hate the Western world. They said death to America. They want to stop our freedom. We have to bomb the turbans off of them. And lo and behold, they said they had weapons of mass destruction. The oppressor is rich. We're poor. We listen. And all that was a lie. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. Donald Trump can present himself as Christ, as the white Christ, right? And nobody does anything about it. Let me see if I can get that picture. Let me go to the media real quick and put that picture on the screen for us. Because Donald Trump has people in this world, and because he's rich and he's in power, nobody has anything to say about it. That's Donald Trump. And I can't tell, I guess that's an angel in the background, but Donald Trump is white Jesus and he's healing sick people in the hospital right now. And then when he received a little bit of flack about it, he switched to being cuddled up with Jesus in another picture. But there's nobody to stop Donald Trump. There is no force on this earth right now that is on human feet that is stopping a pedophile from ruling over the White House. No, none of them. It says they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. I'm gonna get another video. This is Ronald Reagan. Let me go ahead and share this one. Give me 1 second. Because Ronald Reagan, let's see, is this the right one? Salakia, bear with me for one moment. I'm gonna share this one instead.
Obsession with antagonisms of the moment. We often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps
the devil will sit there and tell you we often forget what unites humanity, but all the while he's separating us. The oppressor has separated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The oppressor goes around the globe. Ronald Reagan, any other president, has helped overthrow so many governments by putting somebody else that they agree with in a position of power in a different country, from Hispanic countries to African countries to countries over in the Arabias. But he's talking about what unites us. Our Native American brothers used to say the devil speaks with a forked tongue. He's saying one thing, but he's doing another. But then he continues speaking. This is concerning space as well. He continues and he says, something that seems a little weird.
we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound, humanity.
After separating us, destroying us, taking over Haiti, charging Haiti for getting their freedom, he says we need to be united. And if some outside threat outside of this world comes, we would see how united we need to be. So now that the devil, I don't know what he came across, I don't know what he saw, who told him what, but he's saying if there's a threat outside of this world, which the only real threat outside of this world for the oppressor is Yahushua Mashiach, which the world so ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's the only threat. So I don't know what exactly he came across, but now he's talking about an outside threat that would unite us.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war?
I'm gonna stop the devil right there. Ronald Reagan is responsible for the desecration, the destruction, and just the current state of Black people with all of the drugs that he put into our neighborhoods. And he has the audacity to say, if an outside threat came, shouldn't we put together all of our differences? Hell no. I don't care if an alien did come. I'm not helping this country do a damn thing. I'm not helping them do nothing. Because if there were really aliens, somehow, some way, Black people are going to end up at the bottom of all of the species on Earth somehow, and they'll be talking about another threat after that. The amount of times that Black people have saved this country is absolutely ridiculous. What did they used to call the Native Americans? Was it World War I or II? They were called the let me look that up. I got to do the Native American brothers justice. Let me see. Native American. I think it was World War II. Let me see. There we go. It says more than 44,000 Native Americans served in World War II, which with hundreds acting as code talkers using their indigenous language to secure communication. That's an example of us doing enough for this country. The Native Americans gave you 44,000 of their warriors and helped you win World War II. And what do they have to show for it? $5 Indians taking over casinos. What do they have to show for it? Their daughters missing off of reservations. The men that could be warriors for their own being drunks and just being utterly destroyed. The Catholic schools destroying and burying them after sexually assaulting them. And they gave you 44,000 Native American soldiers to help you win the war. And you want us to come together for what? For what? The devil is always able to lull us back in. Because when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. All right, let me go ahead and move on. We ain't going to be in here too long. I got a couple more scriptures and then we are out. Let me make sure we don't got no comments. All right, and let me just go ahead and read through the comments. Let me see. All right. Kanai said it was, and I believe this is her talking about the museum. It says it was a small biblical archaeology exhibit called Joshua, Judges, and Jesus, a walkthrough biblical history. It focused on artifacts and cultural items connected to the ancient Near East and the time periods mentioned in the Bible. Okay, Most High in Christ. See, that's more like I would like to visit and see what they got. It says it contained archaeological artifacts connected to ancient Israel and surrounding civilizations. It was a 10 out of 10. All right, Most High in Christ. I wish I would have got to go to that too. All right, let me see. All right, where are we going with it? All right. All right. And let me get this back on the screen, and we get ready to end it because tonight's class was not going to be long. Let me show this for you real quick, because time and time again, the oppressor shows you who they are. The oppressor will show you no matter what he says. Donald Trump said he thought that was a doctor. He said he thought that was a doctor with the Red Cross. Good night. All right, but let me go ahead and read this. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting with verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Can't y'all see who the son of perdition is, people in the world? People that think it's okay for the oppressor to continue to rule. Don't you see now that when the oppressor rules, millions of people are going to continue to die? Don't you see that Bill Gates wants to feed us trash and take away our food system and reduce the population? The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3 just showed you. It said that man needs to be revealed, that man of sin, the son of perdition. Verse 4, "who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." Isn't that what Trump is doing? Isn't Trump putting them on the level of so-called Jesus? He's got angels in the background, the American flag behind him, eagles soaring. The eagle is a vile bird. The eagle is not some majestic creature. The eagle eats slop off the ground. It's not just a hunter. It's not just a raptor. It eats trash. It's a disgusting bird. And the oppressor has exalted himself as the eagle and as God for centuries, and they're nothing but devils.
Right.
All right. Let me go ahead and read one last one before we get up out of here. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 2. Give me 1 second. All right. And that's Ezekiel 28, verse 2. Let me go ahead and get there with y'all. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28 and verse 2. All right, let me make sure I got the right version. It says, "Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can hide from thee." So what we go out and we do is we let Donald Trump, we let Netanyahu know, we let any world leader, any kingdom know that they're not God, that the Most High is going to have the final say so. And we speak against the kingdoms of this earth that speak great words against the Most High. And we let them know exactly what's going on. All right. With that being said, I appreciate y'all going ahead and tuning in. I'm going to play a video to end us out, and I'll see y'all next class.
The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused.
America just put out a statement that if you're an American in the Middle East, you need to leave now, ASAP.
If this situation, Epic Fury, was many months in the planning, as Secretary Hegseth says, why no plan to get our people out of the region? As many as 1 million Americans living in the Middle East given no escape window. No.
I'm the girl that decided to spend her 30th birthday in Dubai. And I'm coming on here very humbly, asking my president to just seize it. I'm an American taxpaying citizen. And I've now been stuck over here since the 24th.
If you are calling about the crisis in the Middle East, please press 1. If not, press 2. Please do not rely on the U.S. government for assisted departure or evacuation at this time. There are currently no United States evacuation points.
They are toast, and they know it.